Hello and welcome to your favorite Novi podcast, Now You Novi.
And by your, you mean everyone listening.
Everyone listening or watching.
And me as well, yes, all of us.
All of us,
Correct.
yeah. I think you are too, like a little shocked sometimes when we're at an event and people will go, I listened to your podcast, or I see you on the podcast.
Pleasantly surprised,
Pleasantly
yes.
surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's super exciting. Welcome back, boss. How are you?
Doing well. Just plugging along.
Plugging along. Is that what we call it these days?
There's always something going on here, that's for sure.
Well, there's been a lot going on the last few weeks. Last night, you presented the recommended 25-26 budget to council. Beautiful. Cultivating Community Together. Uh-oh. You got it. Let's talk a little bit about the budget, maybe the process. Why don't we talk a little bit about the process? Before we talk about the budget, what got us to last night?
Sure. So I guess high level, and this is the thing that I learned early in my career, is that the budget is the most important policy document for the city council. So this, much like a corporation's budget for their calendar year, this is what that sets their policy off for the whole year. So it goes from July to June, and July 1st to June 30th. And so we start July 1, and then pretty much maybe in August, September, we start on the next year's budget. So we're already talking with the different departments and just getting input on the following year's budget, because it takes that many months to get everything organized and succinct to figure out and make sure that we can all afford that, make sure we go through requests to decide what's going to be in the next year's budget. So we've been working on this probably since September. Someone has.
Right. And I think much like anyone that does budgeting for their house, a business, and anything, there's only a certain amount of money, right? Like we get revenue from property taxes is our largest, where we capture most of our income. But then there are a few other little, when I say little, smaller entities and ways that we collect money. And that is through state shared revenue.
Yep, state share revenue. We get two sets of it. We get one from constitutional revenue sharing, which is by the Constitution, but that's by our residents, and that's our share of the sales tax. And then we get a statutory, which changes and fluctuates over years.
Then it's from the state of Michigan.
Correct.
It's from the state of Michigan. So it's not like these numbers are like growing exponentially, right? Like we don't have, I'm going to make this up, 30 million this year. And then, by next year, now this year we have 60 million. And it's pretty consistent in as far as the increase, the inflation, et cetera, how that works. But I think one of the challenges for you and the team as they budget is, although we may be seeing a steady incline in revenue from building, et cetera, costs are going up. So it's trying to fill that gap, right? It must be a big challenge when you have department heads like me going, I need this. And then you've got public safety going, I need this. So my new microphones don't look as sexy or as appealing, right?
Exactly. Or you need better headphones, not to mess up your hair. Yeah. So there's all those kind of things that come into play. Or, because we have different pockets of dollars that we can use for different things. So we have road funds that we allocate for constructing roads and streets, and we estimate those costs are going to be X, but when we go out for bid, it might be Y. It might not be what we thought was going to be X. And that can be good and bad. It depends on what the year is. So if it's good, that means we can add more capacity and do other streets as well. But if it's bad, we got to take some stuff off of our planned work.
Right.
So it's a lot of moving pieces. So I was thinking about that person at the middle of or halftime at basketball games that have the plates in the air all spinning and everything. It's kind of like what it is.
Kind of figure it out. So what does the 25-26 year budget look like?
Well, it's a 3-wing binder and it has lots of pages in it. It's really city council. We have a relatively new, greener council with the mayor's only been in office for a year and a half. Other council members have only been around for a few years. So last year was our first go around with this new look in the mayor's first budget. So we got pretty clear guidelines then on what they want for our fund balance, which is kind of our rainy day dollars. So that's what we kind of guided us in this year's budget, to make sure that we are maintaining that within that market, that target, if you will. So we're staying within that. We got some, road projects coming up. There's no huge initiatives. Obviously, we have the bond, which listeners remember the other podcast about what those buildings will look like, and that's a different pot of money as well. So it's really just kind of operational, keeping at what we got right now, looking at our infrastructure, keeping that updated, and the roads, being refinished and repaired when necessary, sidewalks. So it's the normal kind of stuff that we already do, but nothing. We're not buying a new park. We're not, building a parking garage. Nothing like that.
Building a parking garage. That was interesting.
I was trying to think of what cities do at a huge scale, and a parking garage popped in my mind.
That would be a huge scale. So I guess maintaining the quality services that Novi residents and businesses have become, or have for a long time known us to be for. Roads. When you talk about investment in roads, I think one of the things, and I don't want to minimalize it at all, because the fact that Novi continues to invest in our roads, when you say there's nothing other than roads in it, I mean, that's big, right? Our infrastructure and our roads, public safety infrastructure, roads, are paramount to the quality of living and services that we provide to those that just do have businesses here, residents, but visit here. You and I both know you travel anywhere around the metropolitan area. If a community is not investing in its roads, what roads do we have planned for next year? Do you know off the top of your head?
That is a great question. We were working with our partners in other, like the Road Commission of Oakland County. I believe we're pushing off Novi Road until, I think Novi Road is going to get done this year or next year. So that's a Road Commission of Oakland County, just north of 8 Mile. Our friends at Wayne County are doing the bridge, but that's not going to get done until next year. The big project we have is the 12-mile road. So that is between west of Novi Road. So part of that, it's all a county road, and we're going to be cost sharing into that. So they're going to be widening it just east of Beck, but they're also going to resurface the whole thing all the way going to Novi Road. So that's going to be a huge project that's been years in the making.
And it's interesting you bring that up, because the public information meeting's coming up on April 29th.
Yep.
So it's just around the corner. And that's scheduled for when? Is that 26, 27?
I think we're going to start working on that, I think, coming in 26 at some point. So,
okay.
So it's one of those things that's such a big project, we might straddle 2 different fiscal years to make that work.
So as early as next year already, next calendar year, you'll see some work on that. And I think you are correct that between 8 and 9, Novi Road is being done. Between, I think, 13 and 14, Novi Road is scheduled for 26, 27.
Yeah.
So, it's not just neighborhood roads, it's any city-owned road that the city is investing in and making sure. And there's a method to the madness. We have had a crazy few years now that the construction on the expressways moved east. I think it gives us the opportunity, as you mentioned, we've known 12 Mile has needed a fix, a major fix, and it wasn't just a Band-Aid. But to have done that in the last 2 or 3 years would have been catastrophic with 96 shutdowns.
And you're right, it is a puzzle process, because we want to get that done before we have to obligate and do Beck Road between 11 and Grand River. So that hopefully listeners and residents alike are happy that City Council just approved, and we got done pretty quickly yesterday, a quick little overlay that will be a Band-Aid essentially until we reconstruct that road altogether. So we don't want to do that on the south side of 96 and then do that on the north side of 96 and really mess up Beck. So that's why we're going to try to do that one after the other.
If you could share one message with those listening about the budget and Novi's fiscal health, what would that be, boss?
You talk about it all the time, and you do. What listeners don't know is that the community relations and Cheryl does a great job trying to make this budget readable and understandable for the average citizen. So the biggest thing is that, yes, everyone gets taxed a lot, but we only get 26 cents of that dollar. Each dollar comes to us. Everything else goes out to someone else. It goes out to the county, community colleges,
local schools.
Yes. So all that goes to someone else. We collect it all and disperse it to everyone. So that's one thing that we do all this stuff with, just a quarter of that dollar from every tax dollar we receive.
That's a great reminder. I mean, in addition, Novi is so fiscally healthy and conservative and sound, and it's another one of the things that we are truly blessed to live and work here. But it's the reminder. We were at a ribbon cutting not too long ago, and I asked one of the business owners, I'm like, hey, is there anything we can do? He goes, you can lower my taxes. And I says, oh, I'm so sorry. He says, and he told me what he paid. And I says, well, and I told him about a quarter because I didn't do the 26 cents on the dollar math, but I just said roughly a quarter of that. And I think it was maybe $4,500. And he goes, wait a minute, where's all my other money go? And I pointed him to the website where he could find out. And he says, that's very interesting. So he says, I get all police, fire, my roads, everything for, less than $400 a month. And I said, you do.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that people don't realize, that their tax structure does include all those other entities. So
yeah.
We operate very fiscally lean.
Correct. And I think our mayor and council challenged us again last night to look for innovations and efficiencies, and I think that's something we're always striving to do. So we're going to continue to do that. We heard that loud and clear, and we'll keep on looking at what we can do to make more efficient and kind of some way antiquated processes that we've had in the past, and how can we innovate those and bring in the new processes. I think we've been doing that for a long time now, but there's always room for improvement.
Always. So for anyone that's listening that might have, we've piqued your curiosity, you wonder how the city's finances really are, the recommended budget that City Manager Cardenas and the finance team have put forward is actually on the city's website, cityofnovi.org. And if you go to Community Services, Finance, you'll bring it right up, or the City Manager's page. So that document is out there. And we encourage you to stay involved. If you really want to know how the city runs and how the budget's put together, the Ambassador Academy, which we'll be wrapping up here in another couple weeks, will kick off again another session shortly. So watch the city website for that. That's always an eye-opening opportunity to actually see all the ingredients and how the soup is really made.
The public hearing for this budget will be held on May 5th at the City Council meeting.
May 5th.
So we'll actually have like we have to, by state law, have a public hearing and notice about what's in the budget. And to your point, we have a lot of great tools on our website to learn what we're doing. So probably to actually know what roads we're doing next year is on our website. We have a fantastic mapping portal that maps out all the capital projects that we have for the next 6 years, actually. So you know what roads are going to get done when. Those are the major roads. Local roads, that fluctuates every year. That's on our Better Roads Ahead page. But any kind of moving, fire truck or big plow truck, that's all on the website as well. So we check that out as well. And that's on our transparency page. A lot of the great resources.
That is a great resource. And I think it's so interesting to note, Victor, that as you and I sat here, one of the documents that you opened up, the page, is the capital improvement program. And you all look out how many years?
That's 6 years. Yeah.
6 years. So things it doesn't just, I don't just decide, hey, I want this today. It's well thought out, it's planned, it's programmed out so we can budget appropriately for a lot of those bigger items. So all of that information's on the website as well.
Definitely.
Good.
Check it out.
Well, good job. Godspeed as you put the finishing touches on that. Once the final budget is adopted in May, work will be done to wrap up that document, and it will be hosted before July 1st when the new fiscal year takes effect. July 1 of 25, we go till June 30 of 26. So
we have a party, we put our Happy New Year hats on,
we do.
We have a celebration, and then we get going.
We do. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And great job last night. And there you have it. Until next time. Now you Novi. Take care.